Food and meal taxes while traveling. In this video, I'm going to answer two main questions. Number one, are meal allowances paid to employees while they are traveling deductible to the employer? And number two, are meal allowances received by an employee tax-free to him or her? When your employer reimburses you for meals consumed while you're traveling outside of your metropolitan area, you do not have to include the amounts received in your taxable income. Think the Greater Toronto Area or the Greater Vancouver Area to understand the meaning of metropolitan area. Likewise, your employer can deduct the full amount of the meal allowance as an expense. There is one catch, however. The amount of the allowance must be reasonable. The CRA considers an allowance of up to $17 per meal to be reasonable. You can also receive a tax-free meal allowance when traveling within the city if all of these three conditions are met. Number one, you traveled away from the office for work. Number two, the amount of the allowance received is not more than $17 per meal. Number three, you can work more efficiently by having your meal outside of the office rather than traveling back to the office just to eat. Let's look at an example. Frank works for an IT services company. He has to travel to the client's site, which is about an hour away from his office. He decides to have lunch at the client's site rather than travel back to the office to eat. Since it's more efficient for Frank to have his lunch where he is physically working for the day, an employer-provided meal allowance for that day will not be taxable to Frank and will also be fully tax deductible to his employer. So here's the tip. Ask your employer for a tax-free meal allowance while traveling. Both you and your employer will come out ahead. If you like this tip and want to know more, drop us a comment below or visit madanca.com. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe so we can bring you great tax tips every week.